Are you waiting on God's reward? Are you patient? Are you long-suffering? Are you waiting for God's reward? That's the theme of today as we dig into the final part of Daniel chapter 1. Hello, I'm Dr. Andrew Marquez, and this is the Baptist on the Bible podcast. And here is your 7 at 7 devotion, a 7-minute encouragement from Scripture offered every Monday and Friday at 7 a.m. And today we're finishing up Daniel chapter 1. It is entitled, Await His Reward. We're looking at verses 17 through 21 today. And again, we've looked at how these young men were taken from their homes, brought into a foreign nation, given false names to false gods. And in the midst of everything, they were determined to seek God. They trusted His sovereignty. They engaged in with the culture to a certain level, but they refused to be defiled. They made sure that they were going to follow God's rules in the midst of a foreign nation. And today they wait upon His reward. So let's go ahead and read these verses together, and then we'll kind of discuss things in a little bit more detail. Beginning at verse 17, it says, As for these 4 young men, God gave them knowledge and skill in all literature and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. Now at the end of the days, when the king had said that they should be brought in, the chief of the eunuchs brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar. The king interviewed them, and among them all none was found like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore they served before the king. And in all matters of wisdom and understanding about which the king examined them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers who were in all his realm. Thus Daniel continued until the first year of King Cyrus. What a wonderful and amazing conclusion to the first chapter. These outcasts, these slaves, these young boys taken from their homes now have infiltrated the courts of the king and stand above all of his counselors. And so it will be God's people who will be bringing influence into this foreign nation. It will be God's people who bring blessings in to this foreign kingdom. And as a result, they will prosper that nation and prosper themselves. And so despite being brought into exile, God is working things out. God remains in control. And so what do? Well, once we recognize God's sovereignty, once we submit to His will, and we determine to follow His rules, that we make sure that we are going to put God first, and come what may, we will serve God before man. We then await His reward. And sometimes that reward may not come soon, but sometimes it does. And what we see with the training that these young men went through is that the blessings just flow down. And it's kind of exciting just to think about it. They are blessed with knowledge and wisdom. They're blessed with the positions of influence, right? They're blessed with a testimony. Again, they're going to stand right before the king. All of Daniel's life, he's going to stand before the king up until the death of the king, and he'll bring great influence and a great testimony to Nebuchadnezzar. And that's exciting, as we'll see in a few chapters. They maintain their identity. Look at the names given here. It is Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. It is not Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It is not Belteshazzar. It is the names of their God that the author here recalls. These names are going to still characterize who these young men are. They don't give up their identity. And they are blessed with longevity and a legacy. As we get in to the end of this chapter, we are told Daniel is not going to die before the first year of Cyrus. And so he's going to have a good long life. What do we do with that? So in the church today, we look around the world today, we might feel like we're losing ground, like we're in the minority, like we don't have real influence in culture and society. Well, we do what these young exiles did. We follow God, come what may. We trust that God is in control, and we wait. We wait. We influence the next generation. We take care of our families and our children. We serve in our churches. We serve our local communities. We do what we do, and we wait. And God will reward in His time. Abraham Lincoln is quoted as saying, "It is best not to swap horses while crossing a stream." And I think that's a good illustration. Don't lose heart. Don't, in the midst of everything, switch horses. Don't start playing for the other side. Don't start trying to manipulate and make things happen faster than God is ready. This is usually an important thing to keep in mind, especially if you're a little bit younger, because your patience muscles aren't fully developed. And you just stay the course. An epigram on patience. A man is a hero not because he is braver than anyone else, simply because he is braver 10 minutes longer than anyone else. And so how will you engage? Will you be brave and courageous and patient longer? Will you outlast the enemy? And that is hard, right? You want to get the immediate blessings. And maybe in this life you won't receive the blessings. Maybe in this life you won't receive great accolades and the world won't come and say, you've done well, and you won't be promoted to the counselors, to the kings. We know that ultimately we don't care about those things because this world is fading away. And ultimately the reward we seek are the honors and blessings that come in heaven. And so bear that in mind as you wait. The day is coming when the roll is called up yonder and we'll be there. And so stay the course, remain patient, wait his reward. If you are encouraged by this, I would just ask you to take a moment, and if it's on the podcast that you're listening, that you would rate the podcast and like it. If it's a video, that you would share this or leave a comment or hit the like. You can subscribe to my channel. It will really help me get the word out and keep things going, and I just really would like to make an impact, and I think that these little devotions are helpful. If you agree, please do those things. I hope that you are encouraged today. God bless, take care, and practice that spiritual gift of patience.